Caesar, Caesar, Caesar,
Hence, home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? Speak, what trade art thou?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler.
What trade art thou? Answer me directly.
Sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade thou, knave? Though naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by that? What meanest thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Why, sir, cobble you.
Art a cobbler? Art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with thee all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, no women's matters, but withal, I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou leave these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
You blocks, you stone sheweth and senseless things? O you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome? Knew you not Pompey? Many time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops. Your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation, to see the great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout? That Tiber trembled underneath her banks, to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores. And do you now strew flowers in his way? That comes in triumph over Pompey's blood. Be gone. Run to your houses. Fall upon your knees. Pray to the gods to intermit this plague, that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Oh, hi. I wasn't really expecting anyone today. Tea? Okay. Well, nonetheless, I am glad you are here to watch this story with me. Oh, what story, you may ask? Why, history, of course. See what I did there? Anyway, I can see you already started without me. Jerk. Well, it doesn't matter. I've come back to this moment in time many times. So, sit back, drink this tea, it's English breakfast, and join me in watching history unfold.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have.
Just be not deceived. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself.
Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
Well, I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
To what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me? Means this shouting. I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so.
Wherefore do you hold me here so long? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently.
Well, honor is the subject of my story. I was born as free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darst thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulders the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar. I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their color fly, and that same eye whose bend doth all the world did lose his luster. You gods, it doth amaze me a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone. Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours?
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you have said I will consider.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
Classic Cassius. Very manipulative, that one. In a way, I almost pity Brutus. I mean, his love for his country is obvious, but like many people, he places his faith in unstable hands. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, like everything else, it'll come back to bite him in... Oh, I've said too much.
Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous. Would he were fatter! But I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays, as you do, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
Tell us what it chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, Mary, bust, and he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other, and in every putting by, my honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as to tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Marc Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither, 'twas one of those cornets. And, as I told you, he put it by once, but for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again, then he put it by again, but to my thinking, he was very loath to lay a finger off of it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still, as he refused, the rabblemen hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown, for it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But what, I pray you, did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Mary, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me ope his doublet and offered him his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word, I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, Alas, good soul, and forgave them with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken in them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that, he came thus sad away.
Aye.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
Aye, if I be alive, and your mind hold, and your dinner worth eating.
You know, Casca and I go way back. Well, for him it's way back anyway. I always liked Casca. I think we share similar beliefs in this game we call life, and in many ways we play the same way too. I mean, we both know what we want and how to get it, and the rest we leave to fate, or till the others end up slaughtering each other. Same difference.
It must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. So Caesar may. Then lest he may prevent, and since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think of him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as his kind grow mischievous. Kill him in the shell.
Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour awake all night. Know are these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them, and no man here but honors you, and everyone doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This, Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too. Give me your hands all over one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. Do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive mettle of our spirits to think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath. When every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy, if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
Should no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet to Marc Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all.
Of course will seem too bloody, guys, Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar. Alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called perjurers, not murderers. And for Marc Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him.
If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness and much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late. The unaccustomed terror of this night and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers.
By the 8th hour is that the uttermost.
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said and show yourselves true Romans.
The gentlemen look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, everyone.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw, cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stolen from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks, gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath desire with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition? I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
So I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus. You have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy. And what men tonight have had resort to you, for here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it expected that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were, in sort or limitation to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret? I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. Tell me your counsels, I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. And I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets.
Go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart.
Oh, Portia. Poor Portia. It's really not a debatable matter when you say she deserves better. And if she really wanted to, she could have gotten like any other guy, but no, she just has to love him. I mean, love is such an overrated thing. Like, who needs it? Me? No. No. It's not like I'm lonely or anything.
You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons, and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled through the air. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. It seems to me most strange that men should fear seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Marc Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say, you are not well today.
Marc Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come in very happy times to bear my greeting to the senators, and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Does Caesar send a lie? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and bathed their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you, great Rome shall suck reviving blood.
And this way have you well expounded it.
And know it now. The Senate hath concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love. To your proceedings bids me tell you this.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am as constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there's but one that holds his place so in the world. 'Tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one that unassailable holds on his rank unshaked by motion. And that I am he, let me a little show it.
Et tu, Brute. Then fall, Caesar.
I warned him. I really tried to warn him. I mean, the signs were all right in front of him, but did he listen? No, of course he didn't listen. Oh my god. I need a minute.
Friends!
countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent, that you may hear. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, I will tell him that Brutus' love to Caesar is no less than his. And if he then were to demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. That Caesar did love me, I weep for him. That he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. That he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? Speak. For him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? Speak. For him have I offended. Who is here so vile that would not love his country? Speak. For him have I offended.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man who ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood.
Stay ho, let us hear Marc Antony.
For best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
Caesar was a tyrant.
Hey, that's certain.
We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often tarred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. He was my friend, faithful and just to me, but Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings. Caesar has had great wrong.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. Look. In this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made through this! The well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cursed steel away, Marc, how the blood of Caesar followed it, as the rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For as you know, Brutus was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. Kind souls, what, weep you when you but behold our dear Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here's himself, marred as you see with traitors.
Oh, noble Caesar! Oh, woeful day! Oh, traitors, villains!
Oh, most bloody sight!
Will be avenged!
Sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. For I have neither words, nor worth, nor wit, nor action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood.
We'll mutiny! We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then, come, seek the conspirators.
Go fetch fire!
Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky charge my fantasy. I've no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
My name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet. I am not Cinna the conspirator.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I just needed a moment to compose myself. Anyway, we missed a lot, so here's a quick recap. The conspirators all flee Rome because they're being chased by an angry mob that's trying to kill them. Octavius, who is Caesar's nephew, shows up. So now the conspirators are not only trying to fight Antony, but Octavius's entire army, which I think is pretty dumb because this is them. This is the army. And they're also trying to fight in togas. Like, who fights in togas? Make that make sense. Well, anyway, we go to Cassius and Brutus, who are basically besties, but, like, let's be honest, they're probably more. But after the fight they're about to have, they may not be toga there anymore. Togas, yeah. I'm sorry.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his side because I knew the man was slighted off.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching call.
You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by the gods this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement?
Remember March? The Ides of March, remember? Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What should one of us contaminate our fingers with base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus?
I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to, you are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no farther.
Say, light man. You say you are a better soldier? Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wronged me. In every way, you wronged me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
Peace, you durst not so have tempted him.
I durst not.
No.
What, durst not tempt him?
For your life, you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as an idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. Should I have answered Caius Cassius so?
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. he was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are. You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
Flatterers would not, that they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come! Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman with all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote to cast into mine teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes.
O Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark, and the strait is cold again.
Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too. O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Portia?
She is dead.
How escaped I killing when I crossed thee? Oh, insupportable and touching grief, upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Marc Antony have made themselves so strong, or with her death that tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants absent swallowed fire.
And died so?
Even so.
Oh, you immortal gods!
Speak no more of her.
This was an ill beginning of the night. Never let such division come twixt our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night. Good brother. Who comes here? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again?
Aye, at Philippi.
Why, I will see thee at Philippi then. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never! Till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the sword of traitors. Defiance. Traitors, hurl we in your teeth! If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I did bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now, keep thine oath. Now be a free man, and with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer. take thou the hilts, and when my face is covered, as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. Caesar, thou art revenged even with the sword that killed thee.
Hi, this is Veronica Whitford as Titinius in Julius Caesar, Act 5, Scene 3. Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did they not put on my brows this wreath of victory, and bid me give it to thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it to thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinius' heart.
I prithee, Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art full of good respect. Thy life has had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword, and turn away thy face while I do run upon it. Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will.
Okay, judge me all you want, but Octavius is kinda cute. Well, I gotta go. I got other stories to see and maybe meddle with. Feel free to keep watching, though. I really enjoyed this. I don't usually get to have normal interactions with people. Well, thanks for sharing this moment in history with me. I'm taking the tea. It's really good.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only in a general honest thought and common good to all made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respects and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day.